Get me that signal. We need no panic.
This kind of reaction is just amazing. It's what you dream of. You know, you create a show, and this one I think was conceived a lot for fans that you would find at Comic-Con, and the fact that they've embraced the show in the way that they have just is incredibly great. I mean, you know, the premise of the initial pilot was so crazy, and the fact that everybody just went with that, we as creators of the show and as writers have continued to just every episode try to make that as crazy and as, you know, fun as we can.
So do you have years and years of material ready for us? Is that it?
I hope so.
Weeks and weeks for sure.
We'll start with that.
Sleepy Hollow is one of the most diverse TV shows on television. Do you think that's contributed to the success of the show? And if so, how?
I think it's definitely, I mean, we're super proud of that. And, you know, I think that what it reflects is a real change, I think, in the way that mainstream networks and movie studios are really looking at who's going to see movies. And hopefully it reflects a more accurate portrayal of who we all are.
And it becomes organic to the storytelling. We're able to tell a lot of stories about different cultures, different mythologies that all just work really well and blends into what we're trying to do with the show.
One of the things we do at the beginning of the year is plan where we're going to end. And once you know where you're going to end that year, you know what you're building toward. And then you put your stakes in the ground and you can figure out what your mythology is going to be. And you usually choose an end point to springboard you into a whole new problem for the following season. You also want to leave enough room to find surprises and things you didn't expect along the way, because there's wonderful gifts that come along when you know where you're going. So we do have a big picture, yeah.
One of the things we really try hard to do on the show is give the perspective of what we're doing today in society through the lens of Ichabod Crane, somebody who was there at the founding. So I hope that does give a little bit of, you know, enlightened entertainment. The other thing is most of our twistery, most of the little pieces of textbook history starts with a kernel of truth. So whether it's the fact that George Washington's doctors really did try to resurrect him 3 days after he died, or Benjamin Franklin was experimenting with electricity, we take these real events and then we sort of pull back the veil and give a Sleepy Hollow twist, which I think is keeping people interested. So hopefully they'll go and look for what really happened. You know, one that we will have this year is Tim Busfield is going to be playing Benjamin Franklin, and we couldn't be more thrilled about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not really what I plan, it's what the writers and producers plan, but yeah, there's definitely more exploration of Jenny's and Abby's relationship, and I think that's something that the audience has really responded to. It's really nice to see such a strong sister duo. We haven't really seen that before.
Like literally strong sisters.
Yeah, in many senses of the word, yeah. I would say one of my favorites was getting to play Possessed and work with Clancy Brown. I really loved doing that possession scene. And that was a great episode for me as well, because I felt like Jenny and Abby really connected for the first time when the demon was finally exorcised, and Jenny and Abby really finally sort of took a breath and took a hug, and that was really important for Jenny. It's interesting because Jenny has, well, she's misrepresented, and there was a scene that was cut, unfortunately, from 106, where Jenny has a really good friend in the asylum, and I really wish that we had shown a bit more of that world, because I think that it's important. I volunteered in mental health facilities in Toronto to realize that these are problems that everyone can face, and they're not so, there shouldn't be things that we don't talk about. There should be things that are accessible, and I think that the more that we have a dialogue, the better we will be able to understand these issues. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really play that much into the character, but I like the conversation in general.
Yeah, it's nice to, you know, last year there was such a positive reaction to because we premiered the pilot here last year, and you know, people really seemed to go with it, and so we were looking forward to this year, and we got to show some previews of season 2, and it's just nice even more people went for it. It's we're stuck in a bubble where we're shooting because we're working all the time, and so it's not like when you do a play and you can gauge audience reaction as you're going along, or if you're doing a film you can watch it in cinema, and so it's nice to see what the viewers.
Well, do you get that interaction?
We have our own barn.
Media?
Yeah, we have our own barn. Last year we came here and our show hadn't aired, so like we're so glad to have everyone here. And yesterday when we did our panel, the room was full. You know, so that was just huge. It's amazing.
Oh, everyone loves the show. I mean, it's you get this whole group of people who are like, yeah, I'm not into like sci-fi and supernatural stuff, but that Sleepy Hollow is really fun, you know, because they tap into the history or the historical aspect, and then they just go along for the ride.
That's very nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're covering all the spectrums. And by the way, yes, you do have a fancy bodyguard behind you too.
Oh, 3.
Oh,
yes.
What's it like to have a show
It's a great photo
with such a big fandom? You know, what's your reaction to the fan fiction, the fan art, and all those things?
I mean, it can't be anything other than a massive compliment. It shows that people are engaged in the show, and we've said lots of times before, when you see people writing fan fiction and and they're drawing and they're painting, to know that we're doing work that inspires people to create their own stuff, there's not really much more you can ask for.
Yeah. And Tom was born for this. Look at him. He's just like ready for it.
I'm in heaven here.
Great.
Tom, I'm going to bring you up to the side. I'm going to bring the whole over there
thanks very
to
much.
say hi. If anyone needs me to pick
We're all fans, you know, we all come from having seen something that inspired by it, wanted to be a part of it, so I don't really think my process is really that special. It's just I wanted to interact as a fan, not as an actor on the show. You know, I'm in fandom just like you are. I'm on AO3, I'm on Wattpad, and it's fun. So it's been a great interaction, but I think the best thing is it's not one-sided. I learned so much from the interaction because I get to have fun. You share your stuff with me, I share my stuff with you. It's fun. So I'm enjoying what the incredible experience that is for me. And I like to retweet and favorite all the haters, so it's awesome. Here's the best part. You won't get ahead of it. Where you think it's going, it sort of keeps turning. And I think that's the experience we're having when we get the scripts, because we're like, whoa, I thought we were over here. So it's a fun ride, and I think it's still related. It's really exciting. It's three things. One, that people got cast because of their ability as actors, not based on race or anything. There wasn't like a affirmative action or voting system. That the women on the show are not subservient to the male characters. They sort of stand alone on their own. They have their own points of view. And the romantic relationship isn't the centrifugal force of their stories, which is awesome. And the show is clearly multicultural, and that's groundbreaking. So it's not lost on me that that's happening. I'm sort of very proud of it, but I'm mostly proud because it's not about that. It's just a fun ride with really cool characters. And those other things are cool extra things. That's not what it's about. So for me, that's really special. That's easy. Superman. Batman ain't got no powers. He's just a rich dude. I'm just saying. I mean, Superman got powers, laser vision, flies, his cape, his daddy's kryptonite, scared of rocks. Come on. Batman's sexy. Right? Batman's sexy. Superman's kind of like the clean, like you marry Superman. You just want to have sex with Batman, that's all.